You can get it if you really want.
What does your sign say?
It says no NATO.
Very nice.
This picture had their name on it, so
Just can't find it. We're occupied to see.
actually, I mean, you know, they
But he's for unfettered banking. He's for deregulating the banking industry completely.
Yes.
And you do that. What happened when Clinton deregulated the banking industry in '99? It led to the housing crisis that we're currently facing. So we want to
continue to demand that these clinics are reopened. This transition plan is a failure. It is not working. Dozens of people are already hospitalized. We have at least one suicide. This will only mount over time. So we need to be out here. We need to be letting people know that this will not stand.
I agree with everything she said.
thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you.
What are your guys' names?
I am Kelly Hayes. I'm with Occupy, and I'm with the Mental Health Movement.
Jennifer, Thomas, same thing.
So do you guys feel that this is going to make an improvement, show that you guys really care?
Well, getting people informed is the only way to make a difference, so we just have to keep doing it.
The fact that one of the institutions actually has the majority of Hispanic and African American population within it, how do you think that's going to impact their community?
Oh, greatly. It's going to impact our communities greatly because, again, when they're turned out in the streets and they don't have anywhere to go, then that just leaves them vulnerable to police. And as you know, there's a lot of police brutality going on. So that leaves them vulnerable to those things. And they need help. They don't need to be traumatized, already traumatized when the clinic's closing.
We've laid off every black male therapist in this city. Rahm Emmanuel hasn't even tried to hide that all of his efforts towards austerity are targeted at minorities and the poor, people he thinks nobody cares about. We have to make the point that we do care, and we won't let this go by.
And what was that stat that someone has already committed suicide?
We have at least one suicide that we know of, someone who went to his clinic not knowing it was closing up. And I mean, imagine that we've known about this for months, and there's still people who don't understand what's happening. And that tells you just how vulnerable these people are and just how serious this situation is. Dozens of hospitalizations. They're expecting people to travel across the city, expecting people to make a change in routine. A change in routine is such a struggle for these people. A lot of them, they're admirable just for holding it together enough to get to their clinic on a regular basis, to work with people they've trusted for years. This transition plan is so weak. It basically consists of 2 phone calls. When the transition began, they got a phone call from CDPH saying, hey, are you transferred to a new clinic? 8 weeks later, they're going to get another call. There is no plan for what to do if they say I am not getting help or if they don't reach that person.
So what about people who need to get their medication? Like the one protester who was with us, leading us, she said that once it's closed, she won't have anywhere to go get her medication and the possibility of them dying.
A lot of these people feel that they are at risk of dying because of this. You have people who are completely unprovided for. They don't know where they're going to go for med. They don't know who they're going to be expected to work with in terms of therapy. It's really scary. When I sat in at City Hall for the first time, I listened to these people tell stories about how they self-medicated with hard drugs before this. They plotted suicide on a regular basis before this. And lots of people are going to wind up dying or just living on the streets or in prison. And they're all potentially constructive members of the community. People who have a lot to give to their families, to their neighbors. And Rahm Emmanuel is trying to destroy that. He's trying to destroy the progress that has been made.
Yeah, their solution to that was when we tried to raise awareness at the clinic on 63rd and Woodlawn, their solution was to come in and arrest these people, have them in custody, deny them their medication while they're in custody. So that's their solution to it. It's like, not only are we going to close the clinic, but heaven forbid if you should have anything to say about that, we're going to arrest you.
I mean, watching them take walkers away from people in order to arrest them, knowing they refused medication to people from the clinics who they arrested who were protesting. A male police officer roughly searched one of those people. I mean, in my opinion, what she was put through amounts to sexual assault. And this is how they handle the mentally ill. They are clearly unprepared to provide any kind of sensitive treatment to these people, which will only compound the traumatic state that they are living in right now.
So from this movement on, if anything were to not happen and they were to close these institutions, is there any organizations or places that they can go for refugee?
Well, there are private establishments, and Rahm Emmanuel claims that a lot of these places are opening their doors, and the city's throwing $500,000 at these facilities to make sure they can take the overflow. $500,000 spread out through clinics that are already overworked, clinics whose own funding is in jeopardy in the coming years, that might not exist soon. It's a drop in the bucket, and if we could find $500,000 for them and $1 million for grass, lawn mowing, and graffiti removal, we can easily find $3 million to keep these clinics open.
Not to mention the money that they're spending on police presence to make sure that nobody's bringing awareness to that. I mean, we have police on 24-hour shifts at the mental health clinic. And the amount of money that you have to spend on overtime just for that alone, when we're peaceful and non-violent. So
they landed an army on us at the first protest at Woodlawn in an area where people are constantly complaining about a lack of police response to violence. There were 3 shootings that night. We talked to neighbors the next day that said there was a serious lack of police response to the fact that people were being shot, and yet they landed so many police in that parking lot to pull those people out of the clinic. It was unbelievable. I had never seen anything like it for a peaceful protest. And the community sees what's happening. They see that Rahm Emmanuel is more concerned with people not complaining about what he's doing to them than with looking out for people who are being beaten and shot in our communities. It's just disgraceful.
If you were to get the chance to talk to Rahm Emmanuel face to face, what would you say to him?
I would say to him that he needs to be more concerned with what's happening in our communities than privatizing every little thing he can. We are well aware of who he serves and that it's not us, and that if he wants to stay in office long term, he needs to start meeting with community groups. He needs to stop ignoring everyone who comes there to address their issues. He serves the neighborhoods. He serves us. He is supposed to be accountable to the voters and not just to the people who write him checks for millions of dollars.
Thank you.